Hello, and welcome to the Healing Dreams Project, exploring projective dreamwork for your health and wholeness, with hosts Billie Ortiz and Dr. Royce Fitts. I'm the producer, Viviana, and today we have a special guest. We are so excited. We have with us Kathleen Webster-O'Malley. She has recently released a beautiful book called The Healing Wisdom of Dreams. Kathleen Webster-O'Malley serves as a health and wellness practitioner, combining more than 20 years of chiropractic with other healing modalities that emphasize alignment to the body's inherent wisdom. A dream enthusiast since childhood, she encourages her patients and wellness clients to look to their dreams as a source of guidance, inspiration, and healing. She is a 2020 recipient of the Visioneers Personal Achievement Award for her contributions to community well-being. The Visioneers is a global community of change makers. Kathleen's mission is to inspire greater compassion and encourage others to align with their innermost wisdom to live with greater integrity, intention, and purpose. Kathleen grew up in the Caribbean among 3 island nations and currently makes her home in central Massachusetts. To learn more about her, please visit Kathleen O'Malley Messages.com. So we are very excited to welcome Kathleen with us. Hello, Kathleen.
Hello. Thank you, Viviana. Hi, Billie and Royce. So great to be with you all.
Great. I'm so glad you're here. I just love your book. I tell you, I highly recommend it on Audible. If anyone out there loves Audible books, just to hear your voice and to hear your passion and your compassion come through as well, as you're speaking and telling your stories. And I love how you blend your personal stories with your dreams and then the dreams of others. And then most every chapter you close with a visualization and meditation exercise. And then you have a certain kind of way that you help people record their dreams, which they can get a free PDF copy off of your website, right? Which gives it like a template of how to
a template of recording of recording the dreams, a dream
I
journal.
downloaded that template. It was really
awesome.
useful. Yeah, it's very helpful. It's very sweet.
Nice. Very nice.
So to remind everyone to record the colors, the feelings, the images of the dream, and then you end with sort of like what actions and there's a thing that you end with each time is like, what's the next step? Or
right, because I always feel like it's important to honor the dream by doing something, so it could be, it can inform a certain decision or just an action, like something that you want to do after, just to honor the dream, an insight that might come. So I just thought it's really good to, to make a decision or do something to honor the dream after you've recorded it, because go ahead.
Well, so I just want to emphasize how important that is, because I think when we explore dreams, we end up yearning for the dream's insights. What is the dream saying to me and to us as a community and to us as a tribe? What I believe we often neglect to do, and you're saying this is an important piece as well, which is, what is the dream calling us to do in this next step, in this waking life? There may be many steps, of course. However, I think sometimes we end up, feeling good about the insight without changing ourselves and without taking the steps that the dream is, I'll use this word, compelling us to do.
Right. And sometimes the step is really just to notice, to pay attention, to see, one of my favorite things is to see when something synchronistically shows up in waking life, when it
Mhm.
feels as though the dream is continuing into waking life. So it's really great to just observe and notice when these things happen.
Mhm.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because that was one of the things I was going to say. Was I appreciate that times we work together, is that I can understand that you honor and respect the synchronistic experiences that you have in waking life just as validly as a dream image, and also visions that come to us, or intuitions, which
Mhm.
it's a wonderful thing that you open everybody up to that, and explain that they all come from the same place. So I
Yeah.
can't be prejudiced to just say, oh, well, that was just something that is in the dream. This is something that happened to me while I was driving to work. It can be just as powerful. And
Right.
I worked with a lot of these, a few of the dreams that appear in the dream. I've had the privilege of working with you, because I honored for that, and that you were able to like go back to dreams back in like 2015 and earlier. That's
Right.
another thing that helps people to understand that the dream doesn't really have an expiration date.
Exactly. Exactly. Because the dream I share in the introduction of my book, I actually had that dream when I was 15. And my
Mhm.
grandmother had given me an interpretation of the dream. And it not only proved to be true then, but it proved to be true throughout my life. And now it's continued to evolve. So it's really interesting how, Jeremy Taylor would say, dreams have multiple layers of meaning. And, I
Right.
found that to be true. So it's really interesting how that all evolves and unfolds.
Mhm.
Well, and my experience has been also that you really can't exhaust a dream. It's gonna continue to unfold as my life develops and changes. The dream will evolve and change. My understanding of the dream will evolve and change over the
Mhm,
years as
mhm.
well. So they really are
Right.
powerful in that sense. They have no expiration date, no limit, just infinite wisdom to continue on for the rest of
Yes,
our days.
yes, yes. And if we can trust in that wisdom, that's really one
Uh,
of my intentions with my book, is for, readers to really, trust in this wisdom that's available to us, which is leading us to, a deeper healing, not just within ourselves, but I really feel that it expands and extends beyond us as
that's right.
well. So yeah.
That's another thing that I appreciated that you talk about so much, is how that it's a collective healing for all of us. The more that we
Mhm.
get in touch with our dreams, the more that we share our dreams with others, that collective healing is available to us all. It's wonderful.
Right. Thank you.
So bravo.
Thanks.
I, I see from your website you have quite a few books and audio recordings and a dream journal with printable pages. I mean, you've been active.
Yes. Well, I've been curious about dreams since I was a child. I spent my early years on the island of Anguilla and then in the care of my grandparents. And my grandmother, I would talk about my dreams with her and she would tell me what they meant. Yeah. And so,
Sweet.
and I also journaled when I was a teenager, and not specific to dreams, but I just kept a journal, and so I also recorded a lot of my dreams as well. So it's just really incredible to look back and see how these dreams just all the wisdom that was there. Yeah, exactly, that I couldn't even see when I was
Mhm.
that age, but to now look
Mhm.
back and just it's just incredible. It just helps me to see that we often think that things are just random, and it just feels like it's just cleverly and beautifully orchestrated, and
Mm,
there's just a sense of that we're being held and guided, and
mm.
it's amazing, really.
Wow, how
Yeah.
inspiring to hear that. I also kept journals from the time I was 13, and I
Yeah,
have all my dreams from way back then too.
yeah.
and I need to go back and read. So it's inspiring me to hear this from you
Mhm.
and to check in with those journals. Yeah.
Yes.
And wow.
Well, I think that's a wonderful reminder that Kathleen and you, Viviana, are lifting up. I would request that at some future podcast that we dig into our old dreams.
Ah,
And that'd be
Again,
fun.
the sense of immediacy of last night's dream sometimes, in my opinion, accidentally pushes out of the way the other dreams that have been trying to talk to us. And to grab a dream when for Kathleen at 15, or Viviana at 13, or Royce at 8, or 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 Billy at whatever phase in life you were, for us to do that and to model that for listeners, as well as to help us to understand that time doesn't matter to the
Right.
dream. And the wisdom is going to be there, whether it was 45 years ago or last evening. So that, I think, is a very important thing to lift up for all of us to do and to pay attention to that.
I think that's a great idea, Royce. I think that's an excellent idea. We could just make it we don't have to go deep into each dream, but we could make an episode of let's just check in with our former self in the dream world. And how does it talk to me now at, for me, 61? How does my, 12 or 13-year-old self speak to me at 61?
And I think Kathleen should be with us when we do this.
Right.
Yeah, love to.
That would be good.
Yeah, actually, that would be amazing, Kathleen, if you like. I often say that time in dreams and perhaps in waking life folds in on itself. So here is my projection, without knowing you, about this conversation you had with your grandmother about this dream. It in my projection, this is a moment when time merged, when this present, what we call present, and the past, what back then, which was present, met. And now the dream is unfolding at a newer level, and will continue to do that. So time folds in on itself as a continual conversation and as a continual support for us.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Well, speaking of time, let's move on to the dream portion of our podcast. So Kathleen, whenever you're ready, share the dream that you wish to share for today.
Okay, so I'll start with the title. I encourage listeners to really give the title the dream, because it just allows us to zoom in on a theme as well. So the title of this dream is My Inheritance and the Most Beautiful Toilet I've Ever Seen. I am standing in line in what appears to be a cafeteria. I notice that most people are wearing white lab coats. Directly in front of me is a man I do not recognize. He is tall, thin, fair complexion, long graying hair. He turns to me and says, "You inherited your intelligence from your mother." I look at his name badge, which reads Sind Earle, SINDEARLE. I say to him, I will never forget your name. But the letters then began to change. And now I'm at my office in the bathroom. The toilet has the appearance of a large, elongated conch shell that leads down into the ocean floor. The shell is a vibrant red. I have the thought that this is the most beautiful toilet I've ever seen. I now have the awareness that a woman and her toddler are standing outside the bathroom door, waiting to come in. All of a sudden, the toilet and the bathroom sink begin to overflow. End of dream.
So there's a woman and a toddler outside the door of the bathroom. They never come in. They're still waiting to come in.
They're still waiting to come in.
Okay. Yeah. And so when it starts to overflow,
I wake up.
Yeah. So do I have do I have an action? Do I do anything? Like how do I try to stop it or anything?
No, I think it's just overflowing, and I wake up in the midst of the overflow.
And is it clear water or is it like sewage water? Or, okay.
No,
So
it's very clear. Yeah.
Okay. So, and it's both the sink and the toilet that overflow.
The sink and the toilet at that time. Yeah.
Wow.
And this is in my office?
In my office, in my chiropractic office and wellness office. Yeah.
Okay.
So is that a private bathroom that I have in my office, or is it a public bathroom for the building?
It's a building. It's for the building. It's
okay.
It's everyone everyone uses it.
Yeah.
What does the color red mean to me as the dreamer?
So red, well, the first thing that comes to mind is the root chakra, which is family of origin. Also safety. The root chakra is about safety. Yeah, but mostly family. So, and what's interesting, like conch shells, they're usually pink and orange. They're not usually red. So it's just really interesting that it was just this vibrant red. And it was just like this elongated spiraling down to the ocean floor. It was just it was beautiful.
It just sounds magical to me.
It was.
I love that description. Well, of course, anything that goes to the ocean, and it just really speaks to me. Here I am in my eternal ocean. I love that this shell, the toilet, is a large shell, seashell, a conch shell, and leads down to the ocean floor. And I mean that the whole image of such a gorgeous bathroom, and it's in the title of my dream. The fact that it's the ocean is, as my friend Billie always says, it would suggest to me a tapping into the collective unconscious, because the oceans are all around the planet, surround the planet, and primarily we're more ocean than we are land.
Yes.
And it's very universal. So there's some element of this dream that would tell me that this is a universal message that is coming through.
Yeah.
The red to me is if it were my dream, is passion. It's also, it can also be blood. So there's an intensity about this. I love that it's family of origin, because blood would be my inheritance. Blood could also, it just gives it a intensity for me. And well, the fact that it's a vibrant red as well. And I love that the toilet and sink overflow, and yet I wake up and there's no, it's almost like it's like a wave which just came in to the bathroom and it was all totally fine. So that's the essence, at least that I that I feel. So I just wonder if there's something I want to ask the dreamer, if there's something that that this dream reminds me in real life that
Mhm,
brings this energy to my life,
mhm.
my growing up in the Caribbean or something. I don't know. What does it bring to me as the dreamer?
Well, the mention of the ocean. So my grandmother would often say to go to the sea. She
Mm.
believed that the sea was the cure for just about anything and everything. And she would send us off, it was my cousins, my siblings, and me, we would just go to the sea. No adults would be present. And I often share in meditation one year on her birthday, I asked, how did you know we would remain safe? And I could almost hear her say, you were never unattended, that the
Oh,
sea would watch over us. And if we ventured too far out, the waves would usher us back to shore. So it was just this, that sense of trust that they had, to know that we would take care of each other and
mm,
that we would be fine in the ocean without an adult present.
wow.
It just, yeah. So it was just, yeah, so that's what comes to mind now as you focus in on the ocean, that piece of the ocean.
I live next to the ocean, and the ocean's I was born on the ocean. I work on the ocean. I'm always at the ocean. So I so much resonate with this. And I mean, all my stones that I wear are the ocean blue stones.
Mm.
I'm obsessed.
Mm,
And so I just feel so much resonance with the energy behind this, and the it just brings in magic and beauty, and it's a cleansing as well. And
Mhm.
um I just I don't know. I love it. I feel like I'm swimming in this, even though it's a bathroom, but it's the most beautiful
Mhm.
bathroom or
mm,
bathroom toilet I've ever seen. So
Right.
it just makes everything, I don't see the sewage. It's because it's all beautiful. It's all
Mhm.
clear crystal, and this collective unconscious coming through.
Mhm.
nice. Very good. Thanks. So, how do I feel when the man says to me that I inherited my what is it? I inherited my intelligence from my
I
mother.
inherited my intelligence from my mother. It was this when I woke up, I don't recall what it felt like in the dream, but when I woke up and as I was writing the dream, it occurred to me that he wasn't referring to my biological mother, that he was referring to Mother Earth
Oh,
and
okay.
creation. Like that's really the sense that I had. And intelligence, it wasn't our mind intelligence. It was more of our intuitive intelligence,
Right.
our creativity, our creative intelligence. Like that was really that really came in strong for me. And I was really struck by that. It was just like, whoa,
Mhm.
it's our ability to create, not just our, what we learn, you
Right.
know.
Right.
It's yeah. So that was my sense. Um,
So in the dream, I'm standing in line behind this person, and
mhm.
there are other people in white coats
White coats.
is standing in line ahead of me.
Yes. Well, there were people all around the cafeteria. There were these long tables, and people were seated and eating. But there were a
Mhm.
lot of white coats, like as though it was,
Mhm.
like the cafeteria of a lab of some kind. And
Mm,
Mhm.
these were
Mhm.
scientists. Like it felt like, it wasn't a hospital, but it felt like these were scientists, and we were just waiting in line for um to get a meal because there were people already seated and eating. And I'm just standing right behind him. And he's tall because as he turns to me, like my eye level is at his name badge. Like I have, an idea of what his face looks like, his features, but my focus, like I focus in on his name badge. And yeah.
What is the energy that I feel from this man?
I'm not sure. Like it's such a, what is his energy? He's just giving me this information. I don't know. Like I didn't really I don't know. Like it was just, it wasn't like, I can't even tell you if, like, he wasn't like a loud or it was just, he was just speaking these words.
Did it feel like I know him? Does it feel like he knows that he knew me or knows me?
Feels like he knows me.
Mhm.
But I had no idea who he is.
Right,
And
right. But in the
yeah.
sense of the tone, there's a sense that he knows me.
He knows who I am.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Because in my dream, he's very on purpose to, be ahead of me, be in line. And then he in my dream, he resolutely turns to face me.
Yeah.
And is he the only one I have connection with as far as conversation or eye contact? Or...
Yes, there's no, like, even though I have the awareness of all the others around me, he's the only one who interacts with me.
Do the others notice us having this interaction?
No.
Okay. So we're in a line and it's just us, this man and me having this short conversation, and the other people are going about their business, eating, getting ready to eat, whatever. And this intentional piece is one of the things that gives me a bit of a goosebump. He's very intentional. He's in front of me. He turns around, seems to know me. I may not know him. However, he seems to know me. Is that?
That is true. Yes. Yes.
And his name is Sind
Earl. Yeah.
So Earl is a noble, a noble title. And Sind is S-I-N-D.
S-I-N-D. Yeah. And
yes.
When I looked at it, because I was very curious about the name, because the other thing that happens is in the dream I say, I'm never going to forget your name, but then the letters start like rearranging. So in my version of the dream, I would write that out and I would see how many different words I can get from that. That because it's like a word jumble, quite literally, because it even happens on his. So I even just the way it's written out, Sin, S-I-N, shows at the beginning, and then Dear, D-E-A-R. So there's many other. I would just play with that if it were my dream and see what other words might come out of that, because there has to be some reason why the name tag started changing right in front of me. The hint would be, we have to. There's more here than just the Cinderella. That's just the puzzle. And the way he's described, tall and thin with this long gray hair, makes me think of like the wizard archetype or the magi, and also makes me think a little bit of my friend Royce.
I went right to Royce.
Like Royce has this message.
A magical being that he is.
Yeah.
Wizard.
Wow, yeah, the long gray hair.
There he is. He's right there.
Yeah. So he brings this important message to me It's very interesting to me that I, as the dreamer, do not think of my waking life mother. I think of the cosmic earth mother. But I wouldn't discount that it's both and. I would look at it as my earthly mother as well, too. And also that I don't consider it intelligence as in rational thinking function. I see it more as intuitive. So all of that comes in as knowing to me in the dream. It's very interesting. So toilets. Lots and lots and lots of people dream about having to go to the bathroom. A lot of times I have to go and I go into the bathroom and something's wrong with the toilet. Or the classic is like what happens here. It's a little bit different. But the classic is I've often gone to the toilet and I flush everything down. And then one time I might go but I try to flush and it all comes back up instead of going down. So the general archetypal feeling of that is that I, as the dreamer, have been flushing down all my crap and not wanting to look at it or deal with it or handle it because it's like it's too much, so I tend to flush it away. The dream encourages me to look at it, though, because the more that I am able to transform all that crap of my life, and I enter into the alchemical process of the transformation of it, then I get the gold that's within. This is a very different dream in the sense that, number one, nothing awful comes up out of the toilet. And the toilet is actually connected. I even say it's connected to the floor of the ocean. Is that how I described it?
Yes, the ocean floor. Yeah, it leads
to
the ocean floor.
So instead of it flushing into the ocean, it comes up from the ocean into the bathroom, right? Do I actually flush it, or does it just start overflowing on its own?
I don't recall flushing. I'm just looking into the toilet and noticing this beautiful spiraling conch shell going downward into the ocean.
And I say, this is the most beautiful toilet I've ever seen. So in my version of the dream, then there's there's one level of it being some type of acknowledgement of the work I've done as with my life and dealing with my crap, quite literally, in my life. So there's but I've done such a good job that it doesn't come up dirty anymore. But it has to remind me that there's still an overflow of some emotion, some emotional energy that's still flooding. And do I feel panicked or worried or anything like that when it starts to overflow, or what's my feeling tone at that moment?
Well, it's almost like I have the awareness that someone else needs to come in, and now it's like, oh, what do I do here? But there's nothing to be done. I just wake up.
Yeah, the dream ends.
Because there's
So if these pieces are very inviting and intriguing to me, if we were simply to look at this dream logically, it's a very weird dream. Yeah, it's a weird waking life kind of experience. And so this is the beauty of dreams, is that they don't care about what the logical waking life impressions are about this drama that is this dream drama that is being created as I sleep. And the linkage between somewhat of a sterile opening in the dream, somewhat. I'm in a hospital setting, hospital cafeteria, the lab coats or something like that. And and it you know, it looks fairly conventional, healthcare related, you know, whatever. And this person turns and faces me, and at that moment, this shift happens. It's like this is when the dream begins to create its own rules. The shift happens. This man turns and faces me and says to me, I have inherited the wisdom or the intelligence.
The intelligence. Yeah.
The intelligence of my mother. So that's a specific kind of word, intelligence. It could be wisdom. It could be intuition. No, this is kind of a linear, in my projection, a kind of a linear word out of a relatively linear setting. However, this is a shift for me in this dream to take me, if I can just be kind of crude, to take me to the toilet. You know, it's like, this is weird that I'm in my chiropractic office area, my waking life area. I go to the toilet, and this toilet is not the same one in my waking life. This is elegant, beautiful. So there's this kind of juxtaposition of linear experiences inside the dream that takes me into a very non-linear, even potentially embarrassing, shocking experience of a toilet overflowing. And this toilet is beautiful. So the linkage to me brings up a lot of curiosity. How is this playing out in my waking life? How is the waking life playing out in this dream? My reaction as I was listening to the dream is, oh my God, this is going to pollute the ocean. It goes right, it's piped right there to the ocean. You know, it's like, oh, that's gross. You know, and that's my waking life reaction. And in the dream world, it's kind of like, it doesn't matter. This is a connection. I loved how Viviana was expressing this. This is a connection with my greater self. And I loved also how Billie said, this shows the work I have done and am doing and will do. And of course, I do overflow with, you know, all of this work. I am overwhelmed, and I do have a lot of emotions. The emotional piece, if this is my dream, it does take me back to my literal birth mother, without knowing what that is like in my dream for the dreamer. I know in my experience, I've inherited a lot of intelligence from my mother. And I also have been experiencing her anguish and pain as well in her dying process of the last several years. And my mother did die in mid-September. So I, for me, lean into the literal piece of, this is about my mother, and this is more than simply my birth mother. This is, yes, my earth mother. Birth and earth mother are carrying woundedness as well as healing, as well as overwhelmedness. And I am processing this. The people that are standing outside, a daughter and a mother, for me, reflects some of my own stuff about being a parent, perhaps again aligning with the feminine energy of young energy and older energy, and they're waiting for their turn. You know, they're waiting for their turn to go to the bathroom, to expel as well as heal.
Wow.
Cool.
That was funny response, Viviana. Wow. Thank you.
You just covered so much in all of that.
Yeah.
But Kathleen, what are your impressions? I mean, that just really filled my world.
Yes, yes. No, there's a lot there. As I shared, these dreams came at a time when I was working on my book proposal. And the fact that I'm also working full time as a, chiropractor and wellness practitioner, and finding time to, write this book, something I'm deeply passionate about, dreams. And, how do I make space for both of it? And it can be, it can be over both of them. And it could be overwhelming to, balance, my daily work and my, what I feel is my life's mission as well. So it's like I shared, with one of my friends, we have this running joke about, well, it all feels essential. She would say, "Well, can you take off your plate?" And I'm like, I don't know. Everything
Yeah.
feels so essential what I'm
Mhm.
doing.
Mhm.
And so the overflow, the abundance, it's beautiful. And yet it's still a lot to, to manage, really.
Yeah.
All the work in the world that we want to do, it's not, it can be challenging to balance it all. And I often say, I don't know if there's anything, if we can truly balance it, because some things are going to take more precedence than others. And we just, I've just come to this place of just doing the best I can, but wanting to follow that calling of sharing about dreams. Yeah.
When I have a dream and I wake up at a certain point in the dream, that's an important element to notice. When I wake up in this dream, there's people waiting to get in to go to the bathroom. And they do symbolize in my dream something unique and special that reflects me as well as the greater whole. And this is, as I'm listening to the dreamer talk about, I do have work that overwhelms and overflows. And this is when I wake up. And so the dream isn't telling me to stop. It's not telling me what to do exactly. The dream is lifting this awareness up that this is when I wake up, is when the toilet is overflowing and I'm aware of other needs that are kind of knocking at my door. So the dream doesn't judge me. I do believe, though, the dream has a concern for me, that has compassion, that has a sense of grace to say, this is okay for me to sometimes stop and let things go. Even though, and I think Billie, there may be a Jeremy quote that's floating around in the air here, but even though we have these dreams and we are overwhelmed with the wisdom and intelligence, and we feel so compelled, this is hard to live out completely in our human waking self. Is there a quote that Jeremy sometimes would relate to? It's kind of hovering for me, Billie, about.
I'm not sure exactly what quote you're looking for, but you mean that we're just mere humans?
No, I mean, no, something about how dreams can overwhelm our system, and they don't stop. They're not going to stop.
Oh, I know. Well, yes, and I this is something that I often heard because I dream so much about working on dreams, and something's gone wrong with the workshop, or I've forgotten clothes that I was supposed to wear or whatever. And I would sometimes ask Jeremy, why do I keep dreaming about this? Because I'm already doing the work. And he would say things like, there's always more. There's always more. And there's something in your book, Kathleen, about that too, where somebody, Cheryl Richardson said in one of the dreams says to you,
Yeah, there's more to learn.
there's more to learn. Okay, that's
Yes,
it.
yeah.
I was trying to remember what it was. So yeah, so the take on that is that yeah, we can feel exhausted and overwhelmed and fatigued and all of the above, but the dreams continue to strive to get us to move to our highest and most authentic self. And sometimes that's a lot of work. And sometimes we're getting information, we're getting overwhelmed with things from the other world, which is, I used to make deals all the time, like, hey, guys, thank you, dream people, for all these wonderful ideas and everything. However, I'm still just a mere mortal. And there has to be some kind of agreement. I keep thinking of this, so I got to ask you, I have a memory of working a dream with you about a conch shell. Did we work on a dream where something about a conch shell on the beach? I don't know.
No, not
Okay.
me. No.
Well, that must be somebody else that I'm thinking of, because the
We
person
did the bowls. We did the bowls, empty the bowls, experience
empty.
the water.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, that was beautiful dream.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's something about the conch shell, because when I was a kid, I remember everybody said if you hold it up to your head, you can hear the ocean. If you put it up to your, so I think of it like some type of communication with the ocean. But then this is sort of like a reverse toilet, because normally things would flush and go away, but this is coming up
Right.
Like a wave.
like a wave. So I'm wondering why the dream structured it like that. If it were me, like, am I receiving something through the toilet would be one question I would have for myself. Is it supposed to get my attention? Is that why it comes reverse? It comes like a rush from the ocean, but it doesn't work like a toilet would work. So anyway.
Yeah.
I don't.
Well, what's interesting though is when I first started my chiropractic practice, my focus was on women and children. And so it's interesting that this woman and toddler was standing outside this bathroom door, and I'm now transitioning into another aspect of helping people to heal, through dreams, and other means, as opposed to solely the physical. So I wonder, I wonder about that piece, what the dream.
It's like the collective unconscious represented by the ocean is coming up from below and flooding this bathroom with the energy that I need, or the energy. It's almost like and I think of this a lot with the dreams. One thing I know for certain is the dreams know when we pay attention. Yes. And the more we pay attention, the more they guide us, and the more we become in a communication with it, especially if we're working with the general public and helping to heal. The dreams vote so much for that. Like here's some, it's almost like, here, Kathleen, here's some more energy. We're giving it, we're sending it. So how have you later looked at it and related to the book proposal, or was there anything specific that came out from that understanding?
Right, but because of this dream, my initial subtitle was how to uncover the voice of your inner being and invoke the gifts of our maternal heritage.
Wow.
So
That was my original subtitle. Because the gifts of our maternal heritage, all that binds us and supports us and nurtures us. So that felt really, really important. And that
Yeah.
came about, after this dream.
So for the people listening and for the people watching who have not read this brilliant book yet, can you give a little synopsis of your history as far as related to motherhood and birth? Because I think that's such a big part of your story, and it's so moving and
Yeah.
very important.
Right. So the dream I had when I was 15 years old, I dreamt I was walking along a beach and I came across a crib. And inside the crib, there was a fish. And so when I told my grandmother about the dream, she said that it meant that someone was pregnant. And of course, I thought it's because of the crib. And she said, no, it's because of the fish. And so at the time, someone close to me was pregnant. But when I was pregnant with my daughter, who's now an adult, I had a dream about a fish, and this fish was swimming in the sky. And weeks later, when it was confirmed, the pregnancy was confirmed, I thought back to this dream of my grandmother's wisdom. And a big part of my journey has been unexplained recurring pregnancy loss. But I had always known when I had conceived, because I would have a fish dream. So this became the way my inner wisdom communicated to me each time I had been pregnant. But what's amazing to me is, although there weren't any answers for my losses, the journey has allowed me to really so much has come out of it, and I really want readers to recognize, that our challenges are always guiding us toward a deeper healing and guiding us toward greater purpose. And I really feel that my journey through motherhood has allowed me to see what it means to be fully whole, to be in alignment in body, mind, and soul. And I feel that dreams help us to go deeper into our bodies. And I've also recognized the connection that transcends the physical. I'm still connected to these babies that I've lost. I'm connected to my grandparents, my grandmother, my grandfather. And so they come to me in my dreams, and they help to guide my next steps. And I'm hoping that, by sharing pieces of my story, it will encourage others to really look more deeply at, our challenges. They're not here to destroy us. They're here to really allow us to go deeper, and to find that
Pearl.
those hidden pieces that are still have yet to emerge, that serves a greater purpose, that serves not only the individual but the collective.
Very good. That's beautiful. And I think that's another wonderful message.
Viviana's been wanting to talk for a bit, so I just noticed that. So
go ahead, Viviana. Sorry.
No, I just if this were my dream, the beginning for me starts off very masculine, very clinical, very logical,
linear,
very clean, linear, yes. And it just reminds me of the yang energy juxtaposed with the feminine energy, which is my ancestral mother, my grandmother, my mother, my daughter, all mothers, general godmother, earth mother, me mother, you mother. And it's the yin energy that we actually are only now unveiling, I feel, just as a collective. We've had thousands of years of this very linear thinking, and now we're uprooting the messages of the dreams, of messages of the ocean, of nature, of mother. And it would be a call to what is, I would ask myself, what does the ocean say to me? The ocean says to me to go with the flow, to let go of the oars. Maybe when I'm overwhelmed, just to let the ocean take me where it needs to take me without me trying to push so hard. Maybe the ocean's telling me to ride the wave and just enjoy the ride, right?
Right.
And for me, the ocean, when I'm swimming in the ocean, it's like I'm in a dream. It's a different frequency completely. It just takes me right into this, it's like when I'm flying in dreams. And so I listen at this dream for me is just listen to everything the ocean is telling me and how it's communicating with me. And I know, as Kathleen, I know this is a different kind of intelligence. It's more intuitive. It is more magical. It's just more everything. It's more what we need as a collective, as a world, as a whole. We need this book. We need this information. We need what me as Kathleen, has to say about dreams and wisdom and challenges and wisdom and dreams.
Great.
So what's the link to the book?
We'll be sure to put it in the show notes.
In the show notes. Well, once again, yes, the name of the book is The Healing Wisdom of Dreams. So beautiful.
And I recommend it on Audible.
And what is the subtitle now?
So the subtitle is Discover Your True Self Through Lucid Dreaming, Journaling, and Visioning. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. And words are so powerful and so important, aren't they, as a writer, to get the right word, and then somebody else, like an editor or whatever, they intrude on this sacred space that we have embraced and what we have tried to allow to emerge with a certain word. And it's like, oh, that's not going to work in that way. And so then we wrestle with that. It's always this back and forth, very challenging. And
right.
Something about the rushing of the water and the knocking at the door, and the earlier imagery of the hospital cafeteria or whatever kind of cafeteria that is. For me, there are lots of ancestral energies in this dream. And I do remember now a little bit about what I was trying to recall from Jeremy's, is that when we honor dreams, we are such in the minority of people in the universe that consciously allow dreams to come, and that we hold them with some version of sacredness, because most of the world just kind of ignores, wipes them away. And so we who are in the minority, it's like there's a pipeline of all the ancestors, all the ancestral energies, all the beauty and the compelling nature of and the wisdom of the dreams comes rushing forth into us. And so those of us who are paying attention, we are going to get naturally overwhelmed by all of this energy, because there's only a few channels that are open on this in this realm. So that comes to me in relation to this dream too. I'm going to take I'm I'm going to sound a little narcissistic because I thought of myself too in this dream when I was dreaming, and this, tall, whatever, long gray-haired dude turns around and, and it's like,
Wisdom wizard.
yeah, right. And so literally, okay, it's not me. Figuratively, how I image what I yearn to be, this and what I want to be open to is being used by dreams to invite wisdom and invite intelligence and encourage other dreamers about that inner self that is yearning to come and to express, to emerge for the sake of the whole, for the sake of the whole, for our sake.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
And those of you who have not met Royce in person, he is extremely tall. In my
Really?
yeah. I mean, I'm 5'1", so most people are tall to me, but Royce is quite striking when he walks into a room. It's like, oh, there's that. Look at that guy. So he does carry that archetype in my version.
Right.
Well, and in my book, there is a piece that does reflect that journey of wizardry. And so in my dream that Kathleen has had, this is a theme for humanity. And sometimes we visually see people like that touches that archetype. The point of this is that we yearn, and if we're open, we do see these moments inside of us that have an awareness beyond our awareness. This person in the dream feels like a gatekeeper, an introducer to the stuff into the other parts of the dream. And I don't think the dream could exist without that introduction.
Yeah,
right.
It's a very important message that he has.
And his name keeps changing, and I keep thinking of how the trickster is trying to help us by confusing us, by helping us think outside the box, shocking us, and also this ancient understanding in Judeo-Christian understandings of God, of Yahweh, that we cannot give a name to Yahweh. Yahweh is I am who I am. And so I keep thinking, well, I'm going to remember this.
Right.
And the God/goddess energy says, not so much. This is about not defining the beauty of this dream or defining the beauty of healing. This is about the undefinable that is way beyond words, way beyond speech ripe.
Wow.
Yes, and that is my sense. The words were changing, just as I said, I will never forget your name. And it was just a sense of, remaining open, remaining curious, not having, a definitive interpretation, like we say, allowing for more to be revealed, more and more. It's infinite. The ocean is vast and unending.
And I'm a part of that. That's what is so amazing in this dream. I am a part of this infiniteness, this infinite intelligence.
Yes. Beautiful.
So, Kathleen, is there anything else you want to us to explore in this dream, or does this feel like a good place to stop?
This feels like a good place to end. with the infinite intelligence that feels, yeah,
Yeah.
that feels good.
I mean, I am really struck by the fact that the conch shell is so red on the inside, and because
Right.
we talk about you know how and you mentioned too, it's like usually they're pink or orange, and
Mhm.
so it makes me think of uh a vagina, basically. You know, it's like the Mother Earth showing
Mhm.
this is where
Oh,
things are
right.
birthed from.
Mhm.
You know,
Right.
it's very so incredibly feminine. I mean, a conch shell's already feminine, but this one's
Right.
got it's got this like really vibrant red to get my
Mhm.
attention.
Mm,
And I, as the dreamer,
mm,
say that I associate red with my family of origin too. So this again would be a dream. You know, this is my my projection. It seems like in every dream I worked lately is that the ancestors always have something to tell us, that
Mhm.
they're trying to let us know we're noticing what you're doing.
Mhm.
Good job. Go this way. Follow this thread. But there is this, I feel it deeply with almost every dream I work, is this overwhelming sense of gratitude
Mhm.
from the ancestors to
Mhm.
release their unlived life and express their unexpressed grief. Um,
Wow.
and helps us to cleanse. And see, that's it's the bathroom is a place for cleansing and elimination. So it has
Mhm.
to take place in the bathroom for that reason in my dream.
Mhm.
thank you for bringing that up. This is uh, important that this looks like in one version of the dream a vagina.
Mhm.
This is a part of the birthing process. This is
Mhm.
part of and how dreams uh, are here to expand our awareness and uh, it our waking life resistances to talk in this way is prominent. It's prominent in me. It's like, oh, I should censor, not not to say that kind of stuff.
Right.
And yet the dream is so natural, and this is one of our associations, my association in the dream.
Huh. Well, I said it. I got it
You
out.
did. Preach it, sister.
Well, that's
Vagina. But it came
well, that's
out.
the beautiful thing about dreams is that they take us where we wouldn't ordinarily want to go. You know, oftentimes it's just, it's, oh, that's it, I just dreamt about it, that wasn't wasn't
Right.
me, it was a dream, but it's all of it is us, it's just a beautiful way of, just bringing it to the surface, things that we wouldn't ordinarily want to discuss.
Mhm.
Yeah, one of my heroes, Marie Louise von France, she in The Way of the Dream, she talks about that where she says, we have to remember that the dreams speak in nature. They speak in the
Mhm.
language of nature. So there
Yes.
is no politically correct or should I censor this or not. It's
Right.
like this is how it comes in. It comes in whole and raw and in our face because we need to pay attention. So in my dream, that's why the conch shell has to be vibrantly red to get all these associations with it.
Mhm.
Well,
I
thank you
love
so
the
much.
imagery of all of this. It's very beautiful. Thank you, Kathleen.
Thank you
Oh,
guys so much.
it's
I love this.
it's a gorgeous, gorgeous dream. It's
Yeah,
beautiful.
it's been great.
It's a beautiful energy. Well, so we have been speaking with Kathleen Webster-O'Malley, who can be reached at KathleenO'MalleyMessages.com. Get her book. Listen to her audiobook. It's called The Healing Wisdom of Dreams. Discover your true self through lucid dreaming, journaling, and visioning.
Mm.
Go to the website. There's a link there to pre-order. Download it. I can't wait to do it myself. I'm going to do it right now. Kathleen, thank you so much for sharing with us today. It's just been wonderful to hear and experience your beautiful energy.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
So glad to have you.
Yes. And we have Billie. Billie's website is wakeuptoyourdreams.com. Billie, what do you have on offer these days?
Well, I'm just about to take a holiday break, so I'll be back in January, 2023. But I host groups throughout the month. One that meets on Thursdays in the afternoon, and another that meets on Wednesdays in the evenings. I also help people to become certified, and Kathleen actually is a graduate of the Rocky Mountain Institute of Projective Dreamwork. She completed level 1, and it's a program that helps people to look closely at their own individual dreams, but also to learn more about how to facilitate groups and to work with dreams in a group setting as well. So that's it. wakeuptoyourdreams.com.
And I just wanted to backtrack and go back to Kathleen and ask you if you offer dream groups and things like that as well. Tell us about what you do.
Well, that's still unfolding. Like currently, I'm still in the office working one-on-one with my clients there. But you know, I'm just I'm open open to seeing what comes next and how I'm being called to share more.
And that's chiropractic, is that right?
Yes. Chiropractic and wellness. I do a lot of integrate a lot of mind-body practices in my work as well.
Wow. I wish you lived in San Francisco.
Yeah, I was going to say it'd be so great to go to a chiropractor and work on my dreams,
right?
my body dreams, as well as my nighttime dreams. It's like what a beautiful
Combination. Yeah.
Yeah, very, very, very moving.
Very unique and profound at the same time.
What part of Massachusetts are you in?
Central Massachusetts,
Which
so right
is
outside of Worcester
okay.
area.
Yeah, I wondered if it was Worcester. Yeah, my daughter went to college at Clark.
Yes, yeah, you mentioned.
Yeah. So that's fun. Wow.
Oh, RoyceFitts.com. Tell us what you have on offer.
Well, to borrow a bit of Kathleen's joy about a book being released, I'm having a book being released after the first of the year at some point called The Geography of the Soul. And that book is an expression of a physical journey I took 5 or 6 years ago that also invited dream experiences along the way of hiking in England, and also experiencing the journey of my life on the prairie, and how those stories juxtapose and merge with each other. And it's also a study of dreams and dream work, my dreams, people that I've worked with over the years, people I've met along the way on the hike. And so the geography of the soul is something I'm just really excited about being released, because we all have a geography. You know, Kathleen's dream of walking on the beach, you know, that is not just a literal beach. This is a portion of my soul that I am treading upon. So that's part of what I do. And so my online practice is dream work and spiritual counseling. And I offer people a 30-minute free consultation about dreams if they want to experiment with what spiritual counseling and dream work is like. So I invite people to explore my website at roycefitts.com. Thank you.
Thank you for that. You, the dreamer. If you have a dream that you would like to share with us, we do have a dreamer hotline, and that number is 720-573-9195. Again, 720-573-9195. I am Viviana. I can be reached at viviana.org. My dream/astrology/tarot self will be launching soon at viviana.org/magic. Coming soon, very soon. Might even be live when this podcast goes live. So I am a musician, but I also just love the language of stories and symbols, metaphors, and archetypes. Well, this has been super nourishing, super wonderful diving into Kathleen's dream, and go out. I have the click ready to buy here at Amazon. The Healing Wisdom of Dreams. I can't wait. So
right.
I encourage you also to download the book or listen to it on Audible.
Yeah.
So with that, I think we're done for today with today's episode. Thank you so much for joining us, and happy dreaming till next time.
Thanks. See you guys.